Yeah, that's right, son. That's right. Move behind cloud. Stay behind cloud. Incel rebellion, huh? Is that what's going on in the chat today? The incel rebellion. Ooh, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hey. How's it going? Clue disappear. Clue disappear. Clue disappear. Am I feeling okay? I'm feeling okay. Definitely not spectacular. Enjoyed the blabbing earlier. Yeah, it was a fun conversation. You know, you're friends with somebody when you can have a long ass conversation like that. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of people that I would want to spend 2.5, 3 hours talking to. Background scenery is very nice. Yeah, I agree. It's a nice tree. Tis a nice tree. You're having a midlife crisis. Cool. Cool. Enjoy that, man. It's a gift that you're being given. A midlife crisis is like a gift to yourself, you know? From where I sit, like, I don't know why people freak out about midlife crises. It's like somewhere around the middle part of your life, people wake up and realize that, they're on the down slope of their life and they want to accomplish things and they reprioritize their life and change things drastically. And it's like, what are they supposed to do? Just go, nah, rut, rut, loving that rut. It's like, the great fart of humanity. It's nature's way of giving you a kick in the ass when you need it. I don't even know if it has anything to do with nature. I think it's honestly just people taking stock of their lives, as you're naturally want to do, is like these like milestone moments. I think that's kind of a natural thing to look at your life and go like, oh, it's probably about half over. It's also probably a pretty natural thing to go, oh my god, I'm gonna leave my wife / buy a Ferrari / quit my job / go back to school / you know what I mean? I just don't see why those things are a problem. I mean, they've been presented as a problem because they oftentimes break up families, I guess, and stuff. But maybe that's more of an indictment of the family unit than it is of the people that are doing it. Hello. How hard is it to get legal? Shut the fuck up, man. How many times do I have to have this stupid conversation? I'm gonna give a standing order to my fucking mods here in a minute. Like, any over-the-top 420 weed talk is just instant banned. I'm just tired of dealing with you people, dude. Like, I don't know, like, what's gonna have to be done to get the message out to people that this is not, like, Stoner City doo-wah-diddy, talk about fucking weed all goddamn day long. Like, just Not interested, man. Like, if you're curious about it, like, go to Google. Google things and read about it. I'm not your fucking, like, weed information fucking kiosk and shit. I'm not interested. I'm not a member of that culture. I don't participate in those things. Your Google now. Hey, Paul, for how long would each of the animals in your house survive in the wild? About 15 seconds apiece. They would all die differently, but they would all die in about 15 seconds. Except for Nova. I think Nova would be fine in the wild for at least a few days. But we're talking the big animals in the house. Salvador, Dinor, and Skitters McSkitskat, or as I like to call them, Squeaks. Yeah, those three. Like, okay, here's what would happen. Salvador would see something and bark at it, and that bark would alert some predator that was nearby who would come and kill him. Dinor would cower away from a bee or some other wild animal that was out there that intended him absolutely no harm and fall off of a cliff or something, trying to back away from the bee. And Squeaks would probably pounce on the first big dangerous predator that he saw and try and kill it like a lion, even though he was 1/10 its size, and it would turn around and eviscerate him. That's how it would go down for each of them, guaranteed. You're talking about Hatchet on last night's stream, and I'm wondering if you ever read Brian's Winter. I have not. Hi, Paul. Do you consider yourself a modest man? What does that mean these days? What does modesty even mean these days? Like, we live in a time where everybody puts their business out on Front Street. So what's modesty anymore? Being a monk? You know, like... It's up to you, more like an attitude. Okay, well... I consider myself to be self-deprecating, but that's not modesty. I consider myself to be pretty humble in terms of, you know, what I perceive my position to be, but that's not modesty either. What's worse, drinking, smoking, or eating yourself to death? What's bad about any of those things? Why wouldn't you want to do all three of those things simultaneously? Like, what are your fucking priorities? Like, those three things are the best way to, you know, abuse your body. How do you watch Skyrim porn? I didn't even know there was such a thing. I was genuinely unaware that that was even a thing. But I don't know, man. I don't know. You need to do some jumping jacks right now. Okay. I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Westworld and tapped the fuck out. Wasn't for me. Smoking may lead to lung cancer, which is usually a long and painful death. So I'd say that. Well, there's that, yeah. I mean, whatever. A lot of people who never smoked a day in their life die a long, painful death from something or another. It's like, you know, you want to tiptoe through life, you know, avoiding things that might give you cancer and still roll the dice and you know, probably die of horrible, painful cancer anyway. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not saying go out there and start smoking. I'm just saying lay off the people who do. We get it. You guys won. You know what I mean? Like, you won as far as like the PSAs and the warnings on the sides of packages and the fucking weird commercials and shit. Like, we all know now. Any of us that could credibly have claimed to not know, we now know. Great talk yesterday with TJ Paul. Cool. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. I hope more people wander over there to see it. You know, it's one of those things that I wish somebody would clip it up and put up a compilation or something that I could throw up on my channel as well. You know, it's just, I don't have time. Like, time invested in that would be time taken away from any of the 15 other irons I have in the fire. You know what I mean? So I have to, but that's one of the things with the Highdeology channels that I would, you know, if we reach a point where, you know, we're doing well enough on Patreon that we can maybe think about hiring outside help, like having somebody whose job it is to upload things and manage social media, or an editor, or whatever the fuck. That's going to be one of the things that, you know, I'm going to hope that we can kind of give to somebody so that we can start to kind of pull the good bits. Not that I'm saying that, like, you know, most of it is shit bits or whatever, but yeah, you know, like, Highdeology it's a lot of just conversation and feeling each other out and deciding kind of what the tone of the show is going to be between me and the audience. And that's not always the most watchable thing for people who aren't watching live, but a lot of really cool moments happen during the course of these streams. As a performer, it's hard to remember when and where and what they were. You know, a lot of times something that I'm doing will go over really well with you guys, and I won't realize until way after that it was even a good bit, you know. And I just don't know. I don't have the time to pull these clips and curate them and kind of, like, but like I said, in the future, if we add more people to the team, kind of in an administrative area, that's going to be one of the things that I hope we can get started. Because I think that there's a lot of really cool things going on in these streams that get buried and I think missed by a lot of people because of the long form format of it. I was thinking of pulling bits from these streams. I could host them on somewhere like Streamable and then send the link to you. I mean, yeah, you know, quite honestly, yeah, that would be cool. I guess just timestamps would be cool too. You know, that might even be an easier way for people to contribute. You know, just like if there's something that happened during one of the streams that you think is clippable, give me a timestamp where it starts and ends so I can go take a look at it and see if I agree. And, you know, that would still require me to, you know, go trim it. And it doesn't, now that I think about it, now that I walk myself through it, you know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense anymore. It seems like it would just do exactly what I was saying I don't really want to do, which is add a bunch of shit to my plate. Would you be able to win from TJ in a shilling contest? Win from TJ? And it depends on what we were shilling and what the rules were and shit. Like, I think there are probably scenarios where TJ beats the shit out of me and vice versa, but like I said, it would depend. Love the Jack the Ripper DFF, best one so far. Cool. I'm glad people like it. You know, I'm always like, I still haven't. Well, we kind of talked about this on TJ's stream, but like, I'm always a little more concerned, I think, than I should be with whether or not people are going to like an episode of DFF. I guess I haven't really settled into the same thing they haven't settled into, which is this idea of when you feed people things with wildly different tone and subject matter, you know, you're not going to please everybody. And you're kind of engendering a constant roller coaster of yay, boo, yay amongst some of your audience, you know what I mean? So you just kind of, you know, a lot of the talk that TJ and I had last night was about giving up, you know, stopping myself from allowing criticism to affect my ability to produce shit. I mean, that was kind of the gist of the conversation in so many words. I'll like any episode of DFF really, even if the topic isn't that interesting. Well, you know, you feel that way, and certainly there are probably other people that watch that feel that way. But there are people out there that watch pretty religiously that don't feel that way, that are looking for the topic, that want that combination of our, you know, kind of personalities wrapped around a topic that they're interested in. You know, and those are going to be people that are riding that aforementioned roller coaster I was talking about, you know, with the peaks and valleys. Yay, boo, yeah, yes, yes, yeah, boo. It's just like, well, out of here, Puddles. Nobody's talking to you, Puddles. Oh god, dude, I don't want that type of timestamps. I'm just talking a particularly good riff or a rant or breakdown or funny moment or interesting bit. I'm not talking about like every question I'm asked being cut up and timestamped as its own little answer video. That would be retarded. It's kind of what that like Ask FM shit was that I was trying to use for a while, or no, what was it again? Was it Ask FM? It was like that, yeah. Where like people would send in one single question and then you could make a video response answer to it. And I did quite a few of those. Those are all lost. I did some pretty, and it was kind of an interesting way to do these. It definitely filtered out a lot of the bullshit because, you know, the only comments that ever got seen by anybody but you were the ones that you chose to respond to. But, you know, it was way more restrictive and freeform than this is. You know, this is like that, but times a million, with a healthy fistful of nonsense thrown in to kind of trip me up. Maybe some Twitter polls to see what we're interested in seeing. See, that's kind of the problem though, Joker's Wild, is like, of course, what you're interested in seeing is a factor. But when it comes to topic and tone, what you're interested in seeing is not a factor. You know, and that's no slight to you as a member of the audience. It's just, you know, you've got to understand that you're asking us to take your criticism, you're one person, and have that generate, you know, shows and topics for shows. But that puts us right back in the position that we were in on the Drunken Peasants. You know, in terms of the relationship with our audience, almost like held captive by their expectation of no change. You know what I mean? The Drunken Peasants audience was the most resistant audience to even minor changes that I've ever fucking been in front of. I mean, I can't tell you guys how fickle a lot of those people. I mean, you know, TJ and I talked about this briefly last night. About at the beginning of Deep Fat Fried, we were talking about, you know, we talked about tons of options for rollout for our first episode. You know, and of course we had the inevitable conversation of like, man, we need to lead with our biggest and best foot, man. We need to just put our best, and you know, that not that that's uh, a a bad idea, and not that in a certain way the Tim Allen episode wasn't our biggest and best foot, but that conversation amongst the three of us eventually led to the obvious, you know what, this is our chance to do what a dog does after it's been hosed off with the hose. You know what I mean? If you, like any of you that's ever had a dog, you get your dog soaking wet and you know what's coming eventually. Eventually that dog is going to do the fucking doggy shake and shake off about half of that water. And that's kind of how we felt we needed to move forward with the show. It wasn't even like that we were sick of Drunken Peasants fans. Because they're like, look, dude, there are a lot of people that watch DP, and I'm not trying to slight DP or the fans of DP. I'm telling you about specifically the relationship that we had as the Drunken Peasants and the relationship that we wanted to foster with our Deep Fat Fried audience, because there were things about that relationship that none of us liked. You know, you have limited control over a lot of those things, but what you do have control over, you want to take. And leading with the Tim Allen episode was our way of saying, fuck you, you don't get to expect anything from this show. If you want to be a fan of this show, you're along for the ride along with the people making it. And if you want direct input on how that show's done, and you want a show that just does the same shit over and over and over again because you like familiarity, this ain't your show. Get the fuck out of here. And like TJ and I said last night, it worked. It took a few more episodes. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, but it set the tone. You know what I mean? And a few episodes after that, a lot of those people have been shed. I mean, you go back and you look at those episodes, and there's these huge, you know, disparities in likes and dislikes. They're just, you know, 50-50, and some more I think there's some that have more dislikes than likes and shit. I mean, it was a process of telling a group of insanely entitled people that had become out, like clearly like out of their minds with entitlement in terms of what was expected to happen in what kind of rote pattern every goddamn night, and going, your entitlement has been removed on this channel. Your entitlement is gone. And a lot of them hung around for a few episodes and were like, no, entitlement. And our episodes continue to be all over the place in terms of tone and topic. And eventually they got the message. It was just like, oh, when we throw a fit, they don't care. They just do whatever they want the next episode. And, oh. Some of them probably just shut up and started watching the show and enjoying it. And others of them retreated back to Drunken Peasants or some other show on the internet or whatever the fuck. But, man, I can't tell you how fucking liberating it was to fucking have that happen, to have that balance restored. It was just like, holy shit. Whoo. How would you like to split me muff, dear? A little jig, jig, a little bounce around the bush. Watching your therapy session with TJ related to a bunch of it. Great stream. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was fun. DFF was really the right choice. The way TJ rationalized is something I admired. I mean, I don't know, man. We wanted to do something different. I mean, the impetus was on us to do something different. When we, all kind of decided we didn't want to do the Drunken Peasants anymore, we knew that we wanted to do a show, something with a live component, something that we could be, riff on and be tangential with, and we knew we wanted a platform for that. But all of us knew, without even having to really talk about it, that, like, this can't be DP Part 2. You know what I mean? We can't. That just can't happen. We're not going to make this show that just emulates the show that we were. Now, not to say that we don't take. I mean, like, in essence, the way that we interact with each other as a trio, a lot of that was kind of established on the Drunken Peasants. But I'm talking about in terms of content, format, and tone. We can't be the Drunken Peasants Part 2. None of us want that. None of us want to court that. None of us is interested in doing that. I mean, that was just unspoken. It was just like, this has got to be different. This has got to be new. This has got to be something that we have more control over, in terms of tone, at least. Wresting that from our audience and restoring it back where it belongs. And I'm really happy it happened. You know what I mean? Oh, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed that little Patreon update. There was a song that I listened to a lot during the first that first month or so of Deep Fat Pride, where everything was really uncertain and the fan base was really angry at everybody, and you know what I mean, half of the people that came to check out our episodes were just pissed that they weren't getting what they expected from us. And for some reason during that period of time, the only song I wanted to listen to is that. It's by Ghost. I think it's From the Pinnacle to the Pit. Dude, I don't know what it was. Something about that song was just like, yep, this is the song I need to be hearing right now. My brain was like, yep, listen to that. Listen to that again. What's your view of DP now? Have you watched any of the recent content? If you're, I'm not gonna shit talk another show here. I don't really have a view of DP now. It's something that I don't do anymore, and that's no slight to the guys. Once again, it's just not something that I watch. I really don't suspect that they're watching a whole lot of what we're doing either. You know what I mean? I'm kind of done with that. No disrespect to the dudes that are making it. Seems like people don't realize that, like TJ said, people online aren't usually viewed as individuals. They're viewed as a crowd of people all screaming at you. Well, it's hard not to not see it that way, right? I remember seeing the Tim Allen and really enjoying it. However, really liked the concept. The Tim Allen really didn't enjoy it. However, really liked the concept of the show. Knew that the subject matter was what dragged that episode down for me. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I said, it was meant to be a contentious episode. Got any more music suggestions, Paul? Dude, just listen to a bunch of Ghost. If you like From the Pinnacle to the Pit, then Listen to Square Hammer and Rats and let's see, what are some of the other ones I really like? I like Bible by Ghost. It's a way mellower song, but it's pretty dope. I don't know, just listen to some Ghost. Hello, Paul. Oh, 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 oh. What is that weeaboo bullshit? That ooh woo. Is that like a little face or something that I'm supposed to see in that? Hey, Paul, can I see your trumpet? Let me see your trumpet. You're excited about the special Prohibition episode? I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't be. Oh, God, it's going to be a nightmare. A drunken, sloppy, testosterone-drenched nightmare. But whatever. When I first saw Paul, I thought he was a conservative because I misheard his sentence, potential wasted by its citizens as potential wasted on its citizens. Oh, yeah. It's an important distinction. Oh, shit. Hold on. Guess, let's see. Hey, man, I want to swing by tomorrow. Sorry, I probably shouldn't be reading a DM. But, guess I'll go respond to him pretty soon. So that was a message I got from Failure. I guess I'm gonna go on the Kumite or some shit. I don't know which show it'll be. I know they've got several little sub spin-off shows and stuff. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna go a little heads up with Andy Worski. Yeah, I'll let him know that I think that should be fine. Let me just double check my brain here. 1 p.m. Actually, it might be kind of tough. Wait a minute, hold on, no. Yeah. Because we do Flash Fried tomorrow. Well, I'll have to work it out with him. I'll figure it all out. Please prepare so you can destroy him. I mean, I'm not even really looking to destroy him. I am looking to confront him about some shady ass, backhanded, side mouth bullshit that he's perpetrated, but that's all personal shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like, you know, you came on my show and accepted the new eyeballs that were put on you as a result of being on that show. Well, anyway, I'm not going to get into it here. I'm not going to reveal my whole fucking hand here, but I've got a litany of bitch maneuvers by Andy Worski that I'd like to hear him talk about, especially since he does a show that's all about, you know, dragging dirt and angry conversation out in the middle of the fucking road for everybody to look and gawk at, you know what I mean? So I've got some beef with Andy Worski on a personal and professional level. And I I guess building on that, I've got some questions about how those things affect the show that he's on now. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you don't know him, you shouldn't give a fuck. Exactly. Where is this going to happen? I don't know. I probably shouldn't even have said anything about it until I've worked it out, but I'm going to I'll make it happen. We'll figure it out. I remember him being really fucking boring when he was on DP that one time. See, I don't remember. See, that's not how I remember his appearance. So, yeah, if I'm on anywhere, I'll tweet out the link and shit. I gotta work out all the deets and stuff. So, stay tuned for that. Andy, in general, is kind of boring. He relies on others to make the show. See, this is like, this really not the opinion that I have of Andy Worski. Like, I'm not, if you think I'm going to go after him for, like, being a boring fuck, like, whatever, I might not be super entertained by Andy Worski, but that's not something I'm going to attack him on. Like, I don't begrudge him having an audience. I'm talking about behind-the-scenes bullshit. Content creator to content creator. Dude that makes his money doing this for a living to dude that makes his money doing this for a living. Andy Worski has a slight that he needs to account for on that level with me. I don't really care about, like, what his persona on the show and shit. Yeah, I've been critical of that. But at the end of the day, I don't really, you know, people are watching it, good on them. The real problem I have with Andy Worski is a personal one. And that's what I'm interested in asking him about on his show or on the Kumite or wherever it ends up happening. Doing a Dorby, doing a Dorby. Love the stream last night, Paul. The trees look dope. Yeah, thank you. Love the stream last night, Paul. The trees look dope back there. The trees look dope back there, Paul. Yeah, these strange fucking heart attack pauses that the chat has sometimes are very weird. It's like you all stop at once. Really liked your and TJ's talk earlier today. It was a good look into you guys' view on things. Cool. What's your opinion on Mr. Medicare? I don't know, dude. As no slight, like, I just am not super aware of everything that he does. I remember watching him back in the day when he was the internet aristocrat do some of the really early SJW teardowns that I remember happening. And I remember him being particularly vicious and good at it. And I've seen a couple of, like, arguments that he's gotten into, I guess, more recently. But as far as what he's doing nowadays, like, I'm just not, you know, not a fan. No slight. I suspect that the inverse is probably true. Paul, are you cool as a cucumber? I watched the Iceman episodes from HBO. It was chilling. Do you think we should have the death penalty for people like him? I don't. I don't think we should have the death penalty, period. I'm an advocate of abolishing the death penalty as a means of punishment. I don't think that government-sanctioned revenge killing confers justice in terms of, you know, recompense for a crime. Like, it just, you know, the loophole problems are really what kills the death penalty for me is something that I can support. You know, the idea that, all right, so let's say, you know, and then I don't even know what the year is anymore, but the United States has had the death penalty for X amount of years. In those years, in the years since, you know, the death penalty was instituted in the United States and began, you know, being practiced, how many innocent people have been killed for crimes that they didn't commit due to a miscarriage of justice? The answer to that question is I don't know, and neither does anybody else. But whatever that number is, if it's one more than zero, it's too much for me. If even one time the government and the agencies supporting it have swooped in on somebody's life, taken them out of their life, put them on trial for something they didn't do, fucked up that trial to the point where they get actually convicted, probably just in a zeal to convict, send somebody to death row and have them killed, then the system is too flawed to be allowed to go on, because that person could be you. You know what I mean? It's that old meme of, like, you know, they came for the communists and I said nothing because I wasn't the communist. They came for the Jews and I said nothing because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me and there was no one left to care. It's like, I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to be guilty of that. So that's what kills the death penalty for me. That's where philosophically, because, you know, I know that the amount of people that have been murdered as an act of justice is way above zero. I don't know exactly what the number is, but whatever it is pretty staggering. Paul, let's work out. Still remember your recitation of the St. Crispian's Day speech. It made me wonder what your favorite Shakespeare plays might be. I guess I've talked about this before, but my favorite Shakespeare plays are Twelfth Night and The Tempest. So there you go. I'd recommend you go read both of those and see if you can find Paul in both of those stories. That's a good piece of homework for anybody that likes to learn about new things. If you haven't read Shakespeare, go and read Twelfth Night and go and read The Tempest and see if you can find Paul in both of those stories. Paul is a bona fide bayou boy. Nope, I sure ain't, mine. I sure ain't, mine. Those who repeatedly kill others for pleasure are beyond reform and must be killed to remove their threat to society. What? You didn't make any sense there, bro. Rehabilitate or punish? Rehabilitate. companies no longer sell lethal injection drugs to the United States, so they don't know how they're going to execute people now. Yeah, they're going to have to bring back some other, like, brutal method, right? Well, firing squad's back. Can't get the death drugs anymore, so firing squad's back. Gas chambers back. We got plenty of gas, so... The problem is Shakespeare shoved down the throat of high schoolers by authority figures, so they're turned off by it. Yeah. It's all about how you're introduced to something, you know. I was also introduced to Shakespeare by a teacher, but it was a teacher that had a genuine appreciation for Shakespeare and was willing to walk me through the frustrating steps of learning how to read Shakespeare and how to understand what Shakespeare was talking about and how to go and do the research to help you to understand what he was talking about. And how when you did that, when you took the time to translate those things in your mind to a more modern kind of thought, you saw the brilliance and you saw the joke and you saw the laughter and the tears and the genuine connections with human beings that are the same as some of the ones that you have in your life. You saw the symphony, you know what I mean? The whole kind of thing kicks open. At least for me, that's how learning about Shakespeare was for me. And I'm lucky to have had a teacher that liked guiding people there. Would Paul and Twelfth Night happen to be festy? No. I mean, good shot, but no. No festy. No move inside. Had enough of the outside. God damn this door. Get in there. Gordon, this door. Sorry, I know the scenery and lighting and everything was way better out there, but it was time to come inside. My allergies are starting to really fucking be a problem. It's springtime and everything out there is fucking blooming, and I don't want to be like Dark Side Phil where I'm snorting every 15 seconds. Hey guys, Dark Side Paul here, and I'm just, doing my Ask the Prince update video here to let you guys know, okay, to let you guys know, the different kinds of content that you can expect in the future, and to address, some criticisms, some of the critiques and some of the stuff that I've been seeing kind of in the detractor community, right? And it's like these guys, right? And it's like they come to my stream, right? And it's like, what am I supposed to do? They're being total fucking dicks. They're being total dicks. And it's like I'm supposed to, and they want, and I ban them out of the rooms, and so because I'm making, I'm just there to have fun, right? I'm just there to interact with my stream. You know what I mean? To play a video. I'm just a guy, I'm just a guy playing a video game, okay? I'm just a guy playing a video game. I'm just there to have fun. It's positive, I had a Santa hat on. I had Christmas cookies. My girlfriend sat down with me for a little while. We played Kirby on the N64 together. I mean, we're reading the chat. And every time I look at the chat, there's some asshole, you know what I mean, there going like, hey, hey DSP, you suck at fighting games. And it's just like, we're being festive here. You know what I mean? We're being festive here. It's Christmas. I hung a fucking depressing string of lights behind me back there. I hung a depressing string of lights up behind me. I had a Santa hat on. I ate like 5 pounds of sugary Christmas cookies that Leanna made for me. And I'm just trying to have a fun, interactive time, showing you guys content, playing through these new games. Anyway, whatever. Sorry, I'm a secret Dark Side Phil detractor. Cheers. Just revealed something about myself. Content. Paul side Phil. DSP, yeah. Paul side Phil, dude. I mean, I don't know, dude. He's really like the guy I think on the internet that I love to hate. You know what I mean? And I think everybody's got to have one of those. I think I'm that for some people. You know what I mean? I think I'm that for some people, but DSP's that for me. You got to stutter a lot more. I know I'm not real good at doing the DSP thing. I just noticed things about his speech pattern. He always has this when he's talking about detractors. He always has this bewildered look on his face. You know what I mean? Like he's just like overwhelmed and bewildered by the amount of criticism, the avalanche of criticism. You know what I mean? Detractors. My phone's completely fucked, man. I can barely type. Why did you just type that out then? Why did you waste that? Do you think that people like Iceman have a choice in what they do? I don't think anybody has a choice in what they do. Tony Soprano never had the makings of a varsity athlete. Okay. I had my DNA tested the other day, and I can now say with 100% certainty that I, in fact, have DNA. Whoa. Congratulations. I'm sure you were sweating for a while there, the possibility of never mind. Never mind. I'm just going to pull the ripcord on that one. Sometimes you just gotta, yeah, parachute down to the ground and try again. Have you ever read Punisher Max? I've read Born. It's fucking great. No, I have not. But I've heard things. I've heard good things. Just one of those things that I've never checked out that I would probably like. Frank Sinatra or Freddie Mercury? For me, Freddie Mercury, but what is that, the Fag test? It's like, oh, that's how you know. But whatever. Sinatra was cool, but Freddie Mercury was like an angel from heaven. Came down to earth for a while to, just be better than everybody around him and then die young, and that's it. Bowie or Mercury? Mercury is up on a pretty high pedestal for me, dude. Once again, all respect to Bowie, but Freddie Mercury's, in my opinion, better. Why do all good musicians die young? That's not true. I mean, we just got done talking about David Bowie, who died an old fuck. Only the good die young. I'm actually probably 2% Neanderthal. Cool. I mean, Thag is pleased with... I don't know how to talk to you Neanderthal people. I have a theory Jimi Hendrix was killed by his manager. I mean, I don't know, dude. Whatever. There are always theories when these dudes die because nobody really wants to accept the truth in a lot of ways. And maybe that's true with me about Kurt Cobain too. It's not going to change my mind about how I feel about it, but it could be that, I'm just so absolutely certain that Kurt didn't kill himself because that's just not what I want to believe. And I think that happens to a lot of these rock stars that people put up on pedestals. Jimi Hendrix. Nobody wants to believe that he just shot up too much dope and keeled over and died. But Occam's razor, you know what I mean, has to apply. And I mean, that's just the way it is. Yeah, so many great musicians die from OD, same as comics. Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be kind of a refuge of pretty damaged people. Uh, Another one that I remember dying was like Shannon Hoon. Nobody probably even remembers who that is, but he was he was a kind of a one hit wonder band in the '90s. Um, and yeah, really talented dude. Had a really unique voice. Yeah, I'm blind to melon. And just right as his career was starting to take off and people were really starting to take notice of that band as a really different sounding kind of hippie-ish alternative with a really unique lead. He just OD'd and died. Lane Staley, that's another example. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Lane Staley. But that's not to say that I'm happy that the dude OD'd out. I like some of the stuff he did for sure. I had a friend. Well, I guess I have a friend. I mean, I never broke up friendship with a dude. I had a friend, back in the day, who fucking just almost deified Lane Staley. Probably in the way that I feel about Kurt. He was just devastated when Lane was found dead. I mean, I don't mean to giggle about it, but I just didn't realize at the time. Um, I didn't realize at the time like how into it he was. Have you ever fapped to Kurt? Oh yeah, dude, a bunch of times. It's all I can. It's all I can get off to these days, dude. Bert Cocaina. Bert Cocaina. Did Courtney do it? I don't know. I don't know who did it. I don't know who done it. I mean, you say that Neanderthals were probably smarter than us, but they're the ones that got absorbed, man. So I don't know, man. It just depends on how you look at it. Like their blob didn't take our blob over, We're not all walking around with those big old fucking foreheads and high pitched squealy voices and shit. We clearly had something over them. Yeah. Homo sapiens sapiens wins, dude. Flawless victory. We came like Conan too, dude. We saw our Neanderthal enemies driven before us, and we heard the lamentations of their women. Yeah, we outsmarted them. We outnumbered them. We outfucked them. We took their women and boned them. We took their men and killed them. We assimilated them. We made them us. We won. We won. We cucked the Neanderthals. Yeah, we did, dude. We really did. I mean, in the truest sense of the word. That was their plan all along. They won. Their plan all along was to get dominated and bent over and fucked. Okay, well, I guess, that's like the dude that makes himself look like an asshole, and then he's like, it was just a troll, guys. That was just a joke. It's like, that's not a victory. That's not what victory looks like in my playbook, but whatever. Whew. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Got shit to do today. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye.